Hello and happy Sunday, everyone. Hope you all had a good week. This is Sergio Day Trader with another weekly overview of the S&P futures. Um, in this video, I'm going to be going over fundamentals such as any news catalysts, anything worth noting, technical analysis, and trade setups that I'll likely be executing on. Just a couple things before we get started. Obviously, trading is very risky. I definitely recommend you guys do your own research, your own due diligence. Um, and derivatives trading is definitely a little bit different from other trading instruments, or financial instruments, I should say. So please, please don't take anything I say as financial advice. This is just for me and my trading. This is just a way to keep me accountable and just to kind of maybe show you guys how I think, but definitely nothing to act on. So yeah, with that being said, I do want to um, welcome any new listeners and viewers. This is only I think my third YouTube video, so definitely working on the how to deliver the content. Putting it in the best way possible for the viewer experience. Um, and just overall getting used to being in front of the camera. For the returning viewers, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. You know, coming back and checking me out. Hopefully, you guys see a little bit of growth. I know I haven't released a YouTube video. Work has been super busy, and I'm just trying to. I'm trying to get a nice little routine going. Um, on how I can get some of these recordings done. Especially this one, the weekly overview, I feel like is going to be a staple for me in my YouTube channel. Just because it gets the week started. It's light, it's fresh, it's straight to the point. So definitely, just welcome to everyone. Thank you for checking me out. A like, a share, a comment, all that stuff is appreciated, as I know it helps the algorithm with small channels. Um, but yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. Just gonna go ahead and go over any fundamentals first, news catalysts, stuff, all that good stuff. Excuse me, I'm gonna take a sip. Monday is pretty light, not really much going on. Tuesday we have a balance of trade for December. Uh, we have Powell speaking, um, another Fed speaker. Looks like we have a bunch of Fed speakers sporadically throughout the week. So, initial jobless claims on Thursday, Michigan consumer sentiment on Friday. A couple catalysts for all the oil traders out there on Wednesday. Um, some housing. Um, Overall, a light news week. I mean, given that we went through a heavy one last week, so I guess we deserve it. But yeah, nothing here that's going to be a crazy mover. I would consider most of these all low to mid movers. Um, but yeah, I think Thursday and Friday are probably going to be the most interesting days. But I'll definitely be active. I'll be active tomorrow. Just based on some analysis I've already done before this video. Let's see. Just want to make sure I got my weekly open right. We opened up for 41.34. Yeah, 41.34. I have 41.35. Strange. All right. So yeah, we have a weekly open at 41.35. We're in the previous week's range. Um, I do want to note that the last week's profile was a double distribution. It's my favorite setup. I like to fade the low volume in between the two distributions. So I might be acting on a short trade right away tomorrow, just depending on how the overnight session goes. Uh, let's see, do I have those marked up? Yeah. All right. So we have this overnight session. Um, we are right now we are neutral. Um, so let me see. We are neutral in our overnight session. So who knows if we open up in range or just a little outside of range. Um, of the previous session. But we have a previous low of day at 41.34. Looks like we're going to be trading around the lows. But yeah, anyways, so we have a double distribution weekly profile for last week. Excuse me. Most likely we'll be acting on a short of the failure 41.20. Two targets here. Target number one being 40.80. Target number two being the previous week's virgin point of control or naked point of control, whatever you like to call it. Um, I, although I'm going short, I'm not changing my personal narrative that I got of the market. I'm not going to be shorting this all the way down. I don't see anything like that happening. That would be pretty dramatic, but I do see this as a healthy pullback for and an opportunity for buyers to step back in. And the reason I say that is because if you look over here to this leftmost chart over here, these are daily TPOs. Um, this is let me see if I can. I'll put a rectangle over it. This is Wednesday. Yeah, this is Wednesday's profile. So this is FMOC day. A lot of um, this a huge drop in volume here. This was after the announcement or after the speech, whatever. So a lot of business to be done in these prices. I feel I would say I do have this micro composite of I think 3 maybe 4 days. Just a couple price points I would like to highlight, and it's just high volume nodes here. So 40.8475, 40.63, and 40.5375. So I'm seeing those as all um, possible destinations for a soft landing, if you will. Uh, there is I mentioned here. So the failure of 40.20. I'd go short, and then looking for a potential swoop or buyers stepping in at these lower levels and starting a multi-week balance. Whether that balance be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, who knows? It could be a month. Um, but I think we after all the extension that we've gone through of since last week and the previous weeks, to be honest with you, um, I feel like the market will kind of transition to a stage of accumulation. Um, and it's only right. I feel like we're just a bit too we're just a bit too overextended. We need to breathe a little bit. We need to the markets. When I say we, I'm referring to the market. I feel like the market just needs to digest a lot of the information that's been generated. Uh, so so yeah, definitely starting the week with a bit of a. I'm definitely leaning bearish. So a little bit of bearish sentiment going into the week, but nothing dramatic. For the bulls, I'd like to see a hold of 41.20. You know, more um, 4180, double top at 4200. So these prices I'm looking at specifically to see if we're not going to come down to this lower distribution, and if we're just going to keep on going up. Um, and that could likely be the case, but I don't at the moment I don't have any ideas on how that would happen. I could only see myself acting on this short trade just for the beginning of the week, whether it just be tomorrow, and then you know we hit these targets and then buyers step in, and now we're just off to the moon. I I that's definitely a possibility. I would just have to see that happen. You know, change change my my view on things. Excuse me. Okay, so just continuing on to my intraday trigger levels. Um, we have another double distribution profile from Friday. Ideally, I would love to see this thing come back up to 4170. I executed on so Thursday had a double distribution. Um, I'm sorry. Yeah. So Thursday had double distribution. I shorted 4180 and took it to 4170. Just short term trade. It happened pretty late on in the session, and I caught this drop, and then just had to get to work. So I was forced to take the trade off, but nice profits. I'm not complaining at all. But ideally, I'd love to see the market come back up to 4170 to again execute on a double distribution fade. I would target the previous point of control, low of day. That would have me anchored in properly to be able to add into a 4120 break. So, um, just to be able to ride this thing all the way down to my targets, my weekly targets. Um, so yeah, these are my intraday levels, trigger levels. So obviously, 4080 would mean a failure of a. This is in the case of price or market coming back up to 4170. I fade the low volume node. If it comes up to 4180, trade is failed. I'm out. Now we're talking about maybe retesting this 4200 level. There is a double top, so anything can happen up here. We could have the laggers come into the market and take this just a bit higher, but they typically doesn't end very well for them, as they're just eaten up by the smart money. So it would be very hard to convince myself to be a buyer up here, unless I see a test and then we come back to this high volume distribution right here. Then I from at 4180, 4185, I'll take it for about a 15, maybe 20 point um, uh, profit target. If it goes higher, then it goes higher. But like I said, I'm kind of weary on the long side right now, just because I can't really uh, come to a solid trade idea. So I'm really only going to act on what I know, and what I know is the double distribution fade. I am looking at two of them, so why not? The odds are, or the probability of me profiting on this trade again is somewhat high, I would say. But obviously, with the proper risk management, I could lose this trade and maybe take it another time with a better anchor, better placement, better narrative. So those are my intraday triggers. What else do I have? Mm, over to my these are my larger time frame trigger levels. These are my if not this, then that type of storytelling. So the way I look at it is if we're not able to trade 41.55, uh, then if we are able to trade 41.55, then our probability of us hitting 4,200 and going, and in general just this 4240 level goes up a little bit. Dr- Not dramatically, but it goes up a bit because I mean we still have this selling pressure from the double top. So if if we can beat 40, if buyers can take 41.55, then you know I'd for sure be anchored in for at least a test of 4200. Um, but if we can't trade these 45 to 50 levels, then I see market testing 4065. I'm sorry, 4055, 4060. So two different ranges here. Um, all right, so I got the intraday levels. I got my weekly levels. Um, let's see. That is um, my developing days VWAP. As you can see, we have a bit of a rejection from the previous value area, so struggling to get up there a little bit, and we're really liking the this value area low. So um, just again adding to the short story here, to the short story, two different words. I don't know. Um, let's see. You can see the value area kind of getting pushed down lower. Mm. Oh wow. So I hadn't noticed this before, but we got a rejection off of the composite point of control. We have this volume area node at 4130. What is this? 4129.50. Um, low volume low volume nodes make great support and resistance. I'd be interested to see if we actually break below that. Then that kind of still it. I'm not trying to convince myself of this short trade, but it's adding. I'm just adding confluence to it, and I think as traders, that's what we need to do, and that's how we maximize conviction to its full potential, and be able to trade or be able to trust our trading. Um, but then we have a high volume node over here at 4031, so it's a big range. Um, not something that you know, I mean, it can be covered in a day, but we could start, seeing seeing the market make its way down here. Interesting. Oh, that's a good little observation there. A little late observation. I hadn't noticed that. And we have VWAP at 4216. So I'd be interested to see if VWAP comes to trade below the point of control. That'd be a. I'll keep an eye out on that. All right. Um. So yeah, I went over the weekly open, the the idea for the weekly trade. Um. Coincidentally, I'm looking at two double distribution fade ideas, one on the weekly and one on the intraday. Um. It wasn't by choice. I mean, it just happened like that, and I definitely like trading the double distribution fade. So um, I I'll be looking to execute on those ideas and hopefully get a video out on those if they work. Even if they don't work, I wouldn't mind making a video about it. Um, I think one of the things that I struggle in sometimes with the double distribution fade and any of my setups really is um, my tight stops. I feel like my stops are a little too tight, so I'm trying to work on my excuse me. I'm trying to work on my comfort level to risk exposure. Um, so something that I thought about last week was maybe having a wider hard stop with a uh, discretionary stop. Um, so, for example, just coming back up here to this intraday um, chart. Okay, so let's say price comes up to the low volume of last week's pro or last yes Friday's profile, 4170. If I see if I'm liking what I'm seeing, then I fade the low volume node. Um, but if I see it come up here to, uh, so this is so 4070. Let's say I just put a 20 point hard stop. I mean that's pretty wide, but whatever. If I put a 20 point hard stop, that puts me at 4190 up here. But the discretionary stop that I was mentioning would be if price came up here to 4182, then I would consider the trade um, as a failure. So I would just cut it off, save myself the extra few points, and look to maybe re-enter or maybe reanalyze on what's going on. So a couple ideas I have. They're they're both bearish. So I'll have to check my bias level. I don't want to be too short bias going into the market and then get completely, you know, ran over. So I'll reanalyze tomorrow morning before market open and just kind of take in the overnight session. Obviously, it's pretty hard to digest overnight session when it's not. It's London hasn't even opened up. Um, so yeah, just went over the fundamentals. Obviously, it's going to be a light news week. Went over some of the technical analysis, some of the setups that I'm seeing. I did. I spit out a lot of price levels. I would definitely, if you want to catch those again, just rewatch the video. If you want to know why I have those price levels, drop it in the comment section, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I mean, I would love for the opportunity to build relationships with you guys. So we can start chatting in the comment section. I definitely don't have a problem with that. Um, but yeah, I think let's see, we are at 23 minutes. So yeah, I think this is about how long I'm looking for anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes max on these weekly overview videos. I think I've covered everything I need to. I promise I'll get better at delivering this content with the more videos I make. So please excuse my ums and my stutterings and just whatever. But yeah, I wish you guys all have a good night. Wish you guys a happy trading week. Hope you guys profit tomorrow and for the rest of the week. And just overall, uh, you know, have a healthy week and a productive week. Just do the best you can. Later.